Uh-oh.
In her last two fights. Good way hitting him from that way down.
Welcome to the motherfucking relay. We're covering today's top boxing news.
Okay, we'll start with this per a tweet from Michael Benson. Stefan Espinoza is now working as a consultant for Al Heyman's PBC and has said that they will soon be announcing a series of non-pay-per-view shows on Amazon Prime Video. We are expecting 12 to 14 shows this year, a mix of pay-per-view and non-pay-per-view cards. As it stands, they've done no shows in January, no shows in February. There's only one show scheduled for March, nothing on the schedule for April.
Stefan's working as a consultant.
From Showtime Sports President, which is a lofty position, or it was, to just a consultant for the PBC. I suppose that's the least Al Heyman could do for him. Give him a job doing something, making coffee, getting bagels.
Since he costed him the other one.
Al Heyman has a way of making guys move backwards, hustle backwards. I mean, think about it. Deontay Wilder rejecting more money for Joshua to take less money for Fury.
Broly doing the same thing.
Rejecting more money to headline with Ryan to take less money to co-main with Isaac. David Benavidez went from headlining his own shows, his own pay-per-views, 2 of them, to just boxing in a co-main for his next one. And look at Stefan Espinoza, former Showtime Sports President, reduced to just consulting.
Wow.
Got too close to the talent, is how it looks to me. Stefan Espinoza's job, back when he had one with Showtime, was tantamount to being a quality control officer, but it seems to me like he got too close to the talent instead of focusing on what content they were delivering.
Whether or not it was good.
Bringing eyes to the Showtime platform and keeping them there, because if he was loyal to anyone, or he should have been loyal to Showtime. Being loyal to Al Heyman and the PBC costed him his job.
Didn't I tell you that's what was gonna happen?
I literally told you. Stefan Espinoza, if he don't turn that ship around, he's gonna be out of a job. Showtime is gonna give him the boot. And they did, along with the rest of Showtime Sports. I remember last year when Stefan was asked about those rumors as to whether or not Showtime would be cutting their boxing programming. And you know what he said?
He tried to downplay it.
He said it's just the same mean-spirited people wishing ill upon them. He said it's just rumors. It's the same people spreading rumors.
He tried to downplay it.
Well, it looks like the rumors checked out, Stefan. What now?
12 to 14 fight dates on Prime, huh?
It's not the first we've heard of that. He's just reiterating what we heard weeks ago, months ago, that the PBC's going to do 12 to 14 shows, 12 to 14 if they're lucky. The rumor I heard is closer to 8 to 10.
They haven't done one yet.
That's down from last year, you understand. Last year, they did about 19 shows. 19, I believe it was. This year, they're saying they might do 12 to 14.
Down from 19, and it used to be more than that. It actually used to be more than just 19.
People keep trying to downplay it. If they are fortunate enough to do 14 shows this year, not only is that less than what they did last year, but that's less than everybody else in the game right now. That's less than Matchroom. That's less than Top Rank. That's less than Golden Boy. That if all you're doing are 14 shows this year...
Everybody's doing more shows than you are.
Some people keep trying to downplay it. 12 to 14 shows, that's all you're doing? That must be why fighters are leaving, the way I told you they'd start leaving. You know, Subriel Matias, IBF champion at 140, he left.
Joint Matchroom.
Dominican Republic's own Michelle Rivera, he left.
Went to Dimitri Salita.
The both of them are going to be boxing on the DAZN platform moving forward. Veteran boxing scribe Dake Jonovan said, 140-pound contender Kenny Sims seeks a fresh start after amicably parting ways with the PBC.
Oh?
Kenneth Sims' amicable split with the still in business PBC, streaking 140-pound contender, officially a free agent, and aims to get back in the ring within the next couple of months, preferably in a world title shot. Story below.
What's the matter? The PBC can't get him one?
Apparently not. He's left the PBC. Do you think you keep hearing every other week or every other 2 weeks or every so often that fighters are leaving the PBC? I mean, do you think that's a good thing? Does it sound?
Do you see what Jake said? The still in business PBC, quote unquote.
Gee, I wonder who that was for.
Let's just say that the PBC are fortunate enough to do 12 to 14 shows this year. That doesn't seem to be stopping these fighters from leaving them and going elsewhere, which is what I told you would happen, that they're double stuffing their cards, what cards they are doing,
Because they don't have that many fight dates.
David went from headlining his own shows to now boxing on Gervonta's undercard.
They can't accommodate everyone under the banner, thus sacrifices need to be made as well as hard decisions.
And I'm supposed to be the bad guy for telling you.
Get mad at me for saying it, but there's no nice way for me to say it, and I'm not here to be nice anyway. I'm here to be honest and accurate.
Stop me when I tell a lie.
Isn't this what I've been telling you would happen? On repeat, in video after video, going back months, in some instances, years.
Stop me when I tell a lie.
Isn't this what I said would happen?
You keep being mad about it.
Not gonna stop telling the truth to spare your fucking feelings. Fuck your feelings.
Fuck you.
Little bitch.
Usyk was saying it was a low blow. He conned the referee and conned the world. He did it against Anthony Joshua. Anthony had him hurt to the body, a perfectly good shot. He turned away. The same referee, may I add, Louis Babon, right? He turned away and the referee bought it and gave him time to recover. That was against Anthony Joshua, okay? So something is going on. They need to sort that out. The Fury that we know will play with Usyk.
Play with Usyk. He couldn't play with a novice in Francis Ngannou. He's going to play with an expert. I don't think the weight loss we're seeing from Tyson Fury.
He's not playing.
Because he knows he can't. Because he knows he can't afford to. That is Don Charles, veteran trainer Don Charles, who's trained the likes of Derek Chisora, who currently trains Daniel Dubois. He was in his corner for the Usyk fight, and he's still carrying on about how Usyk conned everybody. He conned Louis Pabon.
He can't get his emotions in order, his thoughts in order.
1 minute he's saying that Usyk conned Louis Pabon. The next minute he's suggesting that they're in cahoots somehow. That the same thing that happened in the Daniel Dubois fight also happened in the Anthony Joshua fight.
What?
I must have missed it.
Emotional people.
What really happened?
What?
Daniel Dubois let go of a shot that looked like it sailed low, and in a split second, referee Louis Pabon made the call.
Whether you think Usyk really was writhing in agony on the floor from a low blow, or you don't think it was a low blow and he was just hamming it up, taking advantage, all the same, before it came to that, Louis Pabon made the call.
It's not the chicken and the egg. There's no debate over what comes before the other. Louis Pabon made the call.
You're still mad about that?
That was last year. You've had ample time to review the tape. Everyone has. That you're still talking about it accents an emotional response, not an intellectual one. Emotions have a way of hampering judgment.
Emotional people in any sport are a dime a dozen. In this case, boxing.
Don Charles's emotions won't let him see past the reality of it. The reality of it is, Louis Pabon made that call in a split second. Whether you think Usyk took advantage or he didn't take advantage, it's really Louis Pabon. It was always up to him.
Not anybody else, not Usyk.
It's loser talk, is what it is. Sore fucking loser talk. Because after all of that happened and Usyk rose to his feet, Daniel had plenty of time to go back to Alexander Usyk's body, to pick up where he left off if he was so mentally fragile and mentally weak.
They're still blubbering about this?
Go back to his body. You've got plenty of time. If he's as fragile and weak to the body as you say, then as soon as you go there, he'll be right back down on the floor.
But it's not the way you say it is.
Or anybody like you. These mental midgets who can't let it go because they can't see past their own emotions, lacking the hierarchy of thought and fully developed brains the maturation, the maturity to put your emotions aside.
It's not Usyk's fault.
If you were going to blame anybody, you would have to blame the referee. But how could you blame him when he made that call in a split second, as soon as it happened?
How?
And now you're saying on that premise, the guy who got floored by an MMA fighter who never had a boxing match, that guy is going to play with this Usyk. See, a lot of people running with that idea that all Tyson Fury has to do is go to Usyk's body and that'll win him the fight.
The Fury who arguably lost to an MMA fighter.
Why doesn't Don Charles want to acknowledge that? Why don't some people want to acknowledge that where you might think Usyk got a little bit too much consideration from the ref, Fury arguably lost to a guy who never had a professional boxing match?
Maybe he got too much consideration from the judges.
Maybe your guy got too much consideration in the fight before the Usyk fight, the Kevin Lerena fight. I haven't forgotten about that.
How many times did Kevin Lerena knock Daniel Dubois down?
3? Was it 3? Was it 4? It was enough that, if that was somebody else, they would have waved it off. They would have stopped the fight. The hypocrisy. Don't cry to me about what you perceive as too much consideration for Usyk when your fighter got the same, if not more consideration, the fight right before that. Enough already.
I'd call that karma.
What goes around comes around.
And if a tree falls in the woods and no one's there to hear it, does it make a sound? What exactly?
I still get guys every so often. I still get guys leaving comments about the would-be body shot, the would-be knockout.
Loser talk.
Losers are trapped in a moment in time that has since passed, locked in that moment, unable to move on and move away from it. You squandered your own opportunity. If Usyk is as weak to the body as you guys are making him out to be, Daniel should have picked up where he left off as soon as he got up.
Give me a break.
Emotional people. There's no reasoning with them.
Let's talk about it. So, if it was staged, so Joshua throws the right hand, but just misses, or Ngannou just takes it clean on the chin, but pretends to be knocked out. Is that which one is it?
And also, they've spent weeks manoeuvring this as well without no one knowing.
WWE style. What's going to happen is, mate, I've trained for 12 weeks and I've done like 200 rounds of sparring. But what I'm going to do is, I'm going to come up to you. You're going to go down 3 times, right? And then on the last one, I'm going to run straight up to you and throw the biggest right hand that's ever seen in the heavyweight division. What I'll do is I'll just miss by a millimetre, but you pretend that it's hit you. Or if it does hit you, just go down and pretend you're knocked out. The conspiracy theory is actually worldwide, not just about AJ and Ngannou, worldwide. And AJ, firstly, can you imagine me going up to AJ and going, right, mate, we want to talk about how we're going to stage a knockout between you and Ngannou. And like him with Ben Davison in camp working on actually just missing. Do you know what I mean?
Crazy world we live in.
It's perception is what it is. People's perception of Tyson Fury, who struggled with that same Francis Ngannou, their perception of Fury as a boxer versus AJ as a boxer at the same time. The mixed martial arts community's perception of Francis Ngannou, an MMA fighter, what's supposed to be a fighter that comes from a seemingly superior discipline,
Dispatched so easily by a few hard shots.
it's perception, it's emotion, and we just talked about emotional individuals lacking the mental capacity and maturation to put their feelings aside
Right.
to fully process what they just saw.
Some people can't.
If you're one of these people who's been carrying on about Tyson Fury
Right.
and how great he is,
Right.
and then you see him go in there and struggle with Francis, get sat down by Francis, arguably lose to Francis, and you went in thinking Fury's better than Joshua, he's a better boxer, more durable than Anthony Joshua.
He's so strong, too.
And you've believed this for a long time. You've believed this for years.
You did.
Your entire world will be shaken when the opposite happens, when there is actual evidence to the contrary. Not just with Francis, but with Otto Berlin as well. That's when it comes to the boxing fans. When it comes to the MMA fans, some of them have gone as far as editing footage of the knockout, removing frames to make it seem as if the punch never landed.
Why?
Cultivating engagement maybe for their social media pages on TikTok or YouTube or Instagram,
Twitch,
Twitter.
You can make money.
Doesn't have to be true. What you're saying doesn't have to be true.
You can make money.
Manufacturing a conspiracy where there isn't one. We saw that some years ago with the Glovegate conspiracy in reference to Wilder and Fury and all of that. There was never a basis in reality for any of it.
But that didn't stop a lot of content creators from making money talking about it.
Oh yeah, they got me to the change room early and tired me out. I mean, fucking hell, come on. You got spanked. And who does this kind of trick? I mean, we didn't tell him to get to the arena at that time. So what are you saying? Saudi Arabia told him? They were playing tricks with him? Don't be ridiculous. All fighters get told a time to be at the arena. It's completely up to you what time you want to get there. I'm not sure how getting to the arena 45 minutes or an hour before is going to tire you out. But disappointing, really, because just take it on his chin.
There is that to be addressed as well. Francis Ngannou's contention that he was sabotaged, that they set him up somehow, that by calling him there early and arriving an hour or 45 minutes earlier than Anthony Joshua did, it was all a clandestine effort to make him tired before the fight.
Doesn't that conflict with the conspiracy theory that he took a dive?
That it was all staged and they were all in on it? If Francis Ngannou is now coming out and saying that he feels he was set up, doesn't this conspiracy theory conflict with that one?
Yeah, but that's not going to stop people.
The inconvenient truth for all of us, is that people are going to believe whatever they want to believe. They're going to tell themselves whatever they need to tell themselves. And all I can tell you,
I said that's what was going to happen.
for all of this conspiracy talk, immediately after the Fury fight, I said Anthony knocks that guy out. Anthony knocks that guy out. Anthony makes it look easy. I said the same thing about the Otto Wallin fight, and coincidentally, that's what happened in both fights.
Am I in on a conspiracy too?
I must seem a fortune teller to you, accurately calling both outcomes.
Where so many, even some from the world of boxing, actually thought that Francis was going to knock out Anthony. The basis for all of it is the Fury fight.
If not for that fight, and not for your perception of Tyson Fury and how Francis looked against him, you would have never thought that dumb shit.
That's where you fucked up at.
I told you, you need to reevaluate what you think about this division and the fighters that are in it.
After Wilder versus Parker, after Fury versus Ngannou, after Joshua versus Ngannou.
And what about all the MMA fans who thought that because Francis Ngannou had never been rocked, never been dropped, never been stopped in the octagon, that would carry over into the boxing ring?
MMA fighters ain't boxers.
They can't punch like boxers. You need me to tell you that? That shitty wrestling, shitty judo, shitty kickboxing, and some shitty boxing is not gonna carry over in an actual boxing ring with actual boxers.
You need me to tell you that.
Francis was in there with an Olympic gold medalist, an Olympian, and a two-time unified heavyweight champion who won most of his fights by way of knockout. So Francis getting knocked out.
You're surprised?
What did you think was going to happen? What that was a rude awakening for everybody. The MMA fans, the Anthony Joshua detractors, and the guys who think they know something about boxing.
Got it all figured out, huh?
If you do, then you should have seen this coming.
If you didn't, then maybe you need to reevaluate what you think you know about boxing.
What you think you know about Fury, what you think you know about Anthony Joshua, maybe you should give it a closer look.
Because these were not tough fights to call.